The number of believers in Jerusalem continued to grow in great numbers. They met together and were in total agreement. So much so that when one of the believers had a need, others would sell their possessions to meet that need. As a matter of fact, there was this godly man by the name of Barnabas who had a piece of land. He decided to sell it and give it to the needs of others. Once the land had sold, he brought the money and gave it to the apostles. There was a married couple by the name of Ananias and Sapphira. They also had some land and they decided to sell it and give to the needs of others. But when the land actually sold, Ananias changed his mind. He and Sapphira met together and decided that they would give some of the money to the apostles and tell them that it was the full selling price. On the day, Ananias went alone and went to Peter and gave him the money and said, "This is the full selling price." Peter looked at him and said, "Satan has filled your heart to lie to the Holy Spirit. This land was yours. You were not required to sell it. And once you did sell it, you were not required to give any of it to the church. So why have you lied about this thing? You have not lied to us. You have lied to God." With that, Ananias fell to the ground and died. This brought fear to the entire congregation. Finally, some young men got up and took the body, wrapped it in strips of cloth, and took it out and buried it. 3 hours later, Sapphira came to the gathering, not knowing what had happened to her husband. Peter said to her, "The money that you gave to the church, was that the full selling price of the land?" "Oh yes, that was the full selling price." Peter said, "Why would you two agree together to test the Holy Spirit?" Do you hear that? That's the footsteps of the men who just buried your husband. They will carry you out as well. With that, she fell to the ground and died. When the young men came in, they saw her lifeless body. So they picked it up, carried it out, and buried it next to her husband. News of this spread through the entire region, and people considered carefully before joining the band of believers. Still, the number of believers continued to greatly increase day by day, both men and women.